Okay, I am so excited for this training. So excited. I'm in such a good mood. Like we're in such a good place in our businesses. And they're just life has kind of hit the fan for a lot of people. And so I wanted to go over some things to kind of like help you like stay on track and letting you know that, certain things are okay and that it happens and kind of just going through just some different things. So most importantly, I want to remind everybody that you are the only one in charge of your success in this business. Doesn't matter what your upline's doing, doesn't matter what your downline's doing, doesn't matter what your sidelines are doing. You are solely 100% responsible for your working and being successful in your business. So like you got to stay the path. I know the leader kind of runs the pack and it is just kind of the pace of the pack, but when I joined this business, I didn't really have very many people who were helping me along. Tina didn't know who I was until after I went diamond. So like I had Tina's page, but I went diamond in my first 5 months. It came out of nowhere. I really, really needed this. I figured it out and I was successful. And it wasn't because I was super amazing at this business. It was because I did what I was told from my original training. And I was consistent and like literally consistent for 5 months, like no breaks, no slowing downs, like no mental breakdowns. It was just 5 months of hard work and that paid off. So you are the one in charge of your success for this business and nobody else. And I wanted to do kind of, we're going to have a couple exercises. So make sure you have like a piece of paper near you. With this business and just everything in general, you have different seasons. We don't plan for things that happen, including deaths or sicknesses, or I guess we can plan having kids, but like the shift that comes with having kids in your life and your schedule is just like another challenge to get over. The coronavirus right now, for example, is just a huge shift that nobody expected. Nobody could have planned for. It's this huge pandemic happening. School/summer times, like there's always a schedule shift. So we don't plan for these things to happen. Sometimes they hit us harder than, we're expecting. But I do want to talk about kind of the cons of COVID-19, obviously, where, people are getting sick, people are losing their jobs, not being able to make it into work. Everybody's having a lot of schedule changes, including like, how many of you have turned into a teacher now? Like raise your hand. Like I am a teacher now. I've got 2 kids in 2 different grades, and that is not something I went to school for. That is not something I prepared for, nor had the time for. And, that was kind of just shoved up upon all of us now. So we have these extra duties that we have to fit into our schedules. So there are a lot of like weird things that happened, and it's taken me 2 or 3 weeks to really just find something that works. And what's funny is the moment that you feel like you're on a good schedule and routine is when something else changes. And then, so it's never just one set in stone. I used to work this business from like 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. That was when I was like in my first 5 months. I just worked after my kids went to bed. I had 2 kids under 2, and like we didn't have any sending message limits. It could be the same message. Like we didn't have any of these weird like limits and stuff that Instagram and Facebook now have, but we also didn't have stories and lives. So we're constantly evolving. Things are constantly changing. And we're going to go over some tips on like how to go, through these and navigate through some of them. I was going to tell my story and like keep it short, but you guys, me telling you things that I went through in my business that allowed me to like, not necessarily like to kind of take a step back and like not 100% quit, but just like slow down and stuff. It's all going to sound like excuses to every one of you because they are excuses. But for me, it was something that I couldn't handle. I handled it differently. And like, I'm not going to drag anybody down with that. So I've been through all sorts of stuff. Cancer, still going through it. I've got 2 kids in school. My husband's in the military and he spends a lot of time apart. I don't live near family, yada, yada, yada. Like I could go on and on and on, but like, we don't need to go through that because we all have our own thing. But I want to show you like my, journey was like, okay, started off like really hot, was successful. Then things happen. Like, this is what success looks like. Like this is it. Like, it is not just like this for anybody. And like, your beginning might be more rough than my beginning was, or like maybe you didn't hit a slump until you were, 2 years in, and maybe you haven't hit one yet, and it might not hit for another year, but like, we can't always plan for life. And just know that like all of this stuff is normal, and our job as leaders is to kind of share our experiences and what helped us get out of these things so we can help you through it. We're like, Jade, I love this analogy, one time was talking about, when you think about a car, the leader, like your upline, like what part of the car are we? And it's where the bumper, we are the front bumper. We hit all the shit first so that we can kind of teach you guys how to like go through it or not go through it, how to avoid going through those things. And kind of just, that's what we do. We learn from experience, and we just teach that to other people. And when I started, I spammed people with like a novel long cold message to people, and it was god awful. And obviously now I'm directing people against that. We've learned from it. You guys aren't going to be making that same mistake as I did, but I still enrolled people. It's just like not what we're trying to do right now. And Tina's success chart is going to look the same. How long, let me unmute you. How long did it take you to promote to Triple Diamond?
13 months.
That's
13 months, right after a year.
I'm 4.5 years and I haven't hit that yet.
Yeah.
And I can't compare myself to her, and she's gone through things that I could never even imagine going through. And then just kind of tell us just a little bit about like some of the things that have kind of happened in between.
So I started my business. Next month it'll be 6 years. And when I started my business, I had 2 babies under 2 years old. Anna was 2 months old when I started the business, and Emma was not even 2. They're 18 months apart, but I had 2 healthy, beautiful babies. And then I started to make a little bit of extra income.
Can you please get on my
Here's
teacher
Anna now.
so I can talk on my teacher?
Okay, yep. This doesn't work.
I know, it does. Yes, it does.
Go tell your dad that he's supposed to be watching you.
Okay,
So
Dad, turn it on.
you need to get out, please.
Get out of here.
Gone. So yeah, it was like way easier then when they don't walk and talk. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could go back. I'm not saying it was easy, because obviously I had 2 babies under 2 years old, but when I first started my business is when I didn't have a why really. I just, I had like, I envisioned myself making a few $100s a month. And then 3 months later, my daughter, who was just like harassing me, Anna, she went cross-eyed when she was a baby. She started passing out. I gave her CPR when she was 6 months old. When she was 10 months old, she was in up at Children's Hospital, and they let us know that her blood counts were like dangerously low. So she was on the oncology floor because she was in isolation. Basically what we're going through right now, and you have to like stay home, can't see anyone. Well, that's what we went through for the first few years of our life. But that happened after I started my business, which was that was a huge curveball for me, because I was a stay-at-home mom, but I was also in nursing school, and I was just taking a few months off of nursing school. I took 1 semester off until Anna was getting older. Well, I started back up when she was 9 months old, and then within a month, with all of her hospital visits, with her fainting and all that, I ended up, we were up at Children's, and we had no idea when she was getting out. And I called the school. I was halfway through the nursing program, and I was like, I don't know when I'm leaving. I don't know when we'll be out of here. So pulled myself from the program. But the only thing is like, I had my business. So I worked. I mean, things changed. I needed my husband home with Emma because they couldn't be up at the hospital with us. So I had to make this work as a full-time income. I didn't have nursing school anymore. I wasn't going to be a nurse in 2 years like I thought I would be. I knew that I was going to have to be a stay-at-home mom, and there was no way she was going to be in daycare. She didn't have an immune system at all. So when we're talking about these unforeseen, things that happen in our lives, like right now, who thought that this shit was going to happen? Honestly, like the entire world is on lockdown right now. You go into a store and there's just everyone's in masks. Like, did you really think that that was going to happen? Did you think that all these people were going to lose their jobs and all these people were going to die because of this friggin' virus that came out of nowhere? You have no idea what's going to happen in your life. And I had no idea that what was going to happen with my daughter when I started my business, but it was just really strange how this was put in my life, because I saw some girls post on Facebook. She was in one of the mommy groups on Facebook. And I don't know, I felt like this. I mean, it took me like 2.5 months to actually sign up with her, because I was just like, oh, I don't even know her, like, wicked sketched out. But when I did, I was just, I trusted her, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And I built a team, and I was just confident. And then once Anna got sick, I'm like, this is why this girl was on my Facebook. She was put into my life because somebody knew that this all was going to happen in my life. So I had this backup plan that I didn't even know was a backup plan at that point. And that's what right now we need to be sharing that with other people, because a lot of people just lost their jobs. My best friend, who, she has a degree, she has had the same job for 7 years, just got laid off. And she's like, oh my God, I just bought a house 6 months ago. She's a single mom. And she's like, I don't have a job anymore. I'm like, oh boy. So, like Caitlin said, there's going to be ups and downs in your life, but honest to God, you're not going to know what those ups and downs are going to be. They're going to come out of nowhere, and they're going to hit you hard. And how you react to those situations is going to make or break you. And like Caitlin said, there are times that you know what's going on, but you can't function. Like, you feel like something is just holding you back. And if you see someone that, like, on your team, a sideline, upline, downline, go to them and be like, I know you're going through something, you don't even have to tell me what it is, but I know that something is changing, and I want to be here for you, because that is how you're going to get back in, and you're going to know that this business is your backup plan. And then 10 years down the road, you're still going to be getting a paycheck from the things that you did 10 years prior with your business. Mm-hmm. So you might get this small paycheck right now and think like, well, come on, I have so many distributors, so many customers under me. And then boom, you're like, holy crap, I'm making, $6,000 a month now. And 5 years ago, I was making squat. I was making under $100. Well, that's because if you just stay consistent, your income only going to grow. It's only going to grow. Sorry, I know I get off track and I talk way too much.
No, it's good. Like she said, like when these things like rock and hit you, like we think that we're prepared for anything, and that like we've been through something similar before and we were able to work our way out of it. And it really hits us differently each time. You have to be open to growth, to business growth, to leadership growth, to personal growth, to relationship growth. So like all the cons of this COVID-19 thing, like we went over those, but there are some positives that have happened for me personally. And maybe like, let me know if this is you guys. It has strengthened our relationships. Like we were literally forced home with each other. Yes, my husband is still working, but they're not letting them out and about as much as they used to. They're really only coming in when they're scheduled to fly or whatever it is that they got going on. Spending more quality time with just the people on our street. Like, we can't go anywhere. We can't go spend money. So I have actually spent a lot of time, helping my kids learn and, spending quality time with my husband, and we have just grown closer. And that was something that kind of needed repaired, that I didn't know really needed repaired in the moment. And so for me, this has been such a blessing in disguise. Not only, and it's so funny, it took my husband forever to be really okay with this business. Like really support me, like not like I can do whatever I want to do, but for him to actually like be thankful. He said it probably a couple months after we moved here to Florida, but when this virus stuff hit and they started shutting stuff down, he literally looked at me and said, thank goodness you work from home, because our kids were no longer going back to school and we had to start doing schoolwork, and they had meetings and stuff. And it was like, what would we have done if we both had to go to work, if we were both essential? We would just, be risking ourselves and our kids' lives, just having to go out each and every day. And so like, that was really like heartwarming. Like, even though like I might have taken, these last couple weeks to adjust, like that doesn't mean I wasn't working my business 100%, or that doesn't mean I wasn't working my business period. and that I'm just extremely grateful for what it is that I do have, because you can pick it up and run at any moment. And so it allowed me to get closer to my family, deal with some mental health stuff, and just like still make an income and still make an impact and jump right back in. Like I never slowed down. So that is, I just like love that. So there are good things that are going to come from this virus, and we don't know what they are yet. But I wanted to really start focusing on the things that have happened since these shutdowns have occurred. I don't know what season of life you guys are in, or like what's going on with you. Maybe you're on fire and you don't need any like encouragement or like help or whatever, and that's like fantastic. But I do know that, and I don't know how I got to certain places when I got to those low points. I don't know how I got there. I didn't really know how to get out exactly, but I did like make some tips on like what has helped me recently. Sometimes we need to dream bigger. That's usually like the first thing that you need to go for. And so this is the first exercise that we're going to do. You have to know what your goals and your dreams are and where you stand. I know that this business is my home and I'm here for life. So sometimes you have to rewrite your dreams. I redid my dream board. Right now, I want you to write down, if you were given $500 right now, today, what would it go towards? Write it down. I'll give you a second. Then the next thing I want you to write down, okay, so you got that $500 and you spend it on whatever you wrote down. Say tomorrow you get another $1,000. What's that going towards? What's that $1,000 going to go towards? Okay, boom. Spent your $1,500 so far in 2 days. Okay, next day, guess what? You're going to get $3,000. What's it going towards? You spent your $3,000. Well, $4,500 now. Great. The next day, you get like $5,000. Where is it going? So for me, you guys, the point of this was I started this business for that extra like gas and grocery money, and it turned into so much more, paying half our mortgage and paying for my van payment and still groceries and being able to do the extra stuff. And I've been kind of content with like where we're at, and that this business has done enough for me so far. But you guys, if I had an extra $10,000 right now, I would pay off my mom's credit card debt. Like that, like if I kept getting money every single day, it kept going up and all my bills are paid and my family had some food and, we did some of the extras, I would be able to start branching out, and I'd be able to start helping my mom the way I want to help my mom. I'd be able to start putting some of that in my savings account and like building my savings account more. Start asking yourself, okay, these are all the things that I want, but if I was given $5,000 more, what would I do with it? And start thinking more. Dreaming bigger. You have to see this bigger picture. You have to figure out what makes you tick. And sometimes we just have to redream. We just have to redream. So like continue that like exercise if you want to later. It's like, okay, like, you think this is enough, you think this is what you want, like you think you're good, but if you had to write something else and spend money on something else, what would it be? Like if you had to, what would it be? Keep asking yourself that every time you write something down. And you're gonna have this like big old list. You're gonna be like, dang, like I didn't even think about buying a new furnace for my mom, or maybe paying off their mortgage, or whatever it is that I need to do. So number one is just making sure you really have your goals and your dreams, and like maybe you need to redream in these moments of just like when stuff hits and you're having a hard time finding the discipline to continue to work your business the way that you have been because of this new life shift. Number two, Tina kind of touched on this, is be so self-aware when things aren't right. Like it. Like like you don't have to sit and figure out like when you're not right. Okay. And I don't care if it's just like a little bit, like the sooner the better, right? The sooner you can figure out like, hey, listen, I know I'm not feeling good, like something's wrong. Here are some things that you can do when those things go wrong. And this is just this one has worked so well for me, and I didn't find out about it until I started watching some Amanda Francis stuff with Jade. It's called like nighttime work, like where you ask for clarity before you go to bed. So you're like laying in bed and you're like, okay, like I am stressed out right now. Like I don't know why I'm not working the way I need to work, or I don't know why I'm having ill feelings towards this certain situation, or I just like I'm super stressed about this situation and I can't shake it. Like it doesn't matter what happens, like I feel very anxious about it. I don't know what my next steps are. I am open to receive. I'm asking for clarity on this situation. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Like, I don't want to feel this way. I'm asking for clarity. And so while you're sleeping, your brain is supposed to be working on all these ideas. And within the next couple of days, when you have these random ideas come to you, they're not these random ideas. They are like ways to help you feel like you ask for clarity. And so you're going to have these certain ideas that pop into your head, like go with your gut. Don't second guess it. Okay, just do what your brain is trying to tell you to do. So ask for clarity. That's really helped me, because at the end of like some nights I'm just like, I give up. It's not gone away. I'm still anxious about it. I'm tired of it. Please give me clarity on how I can deal with this and move through it. And it just takes a couple days and I've figured it out. And I can't explain it to you until you really do it for yourself. Like that's when you're really going to understand. So that's helped me. Being grateful for what you have, where you currently are, and where you're going. I have come such a long way and I have accomplished a lot. I made a ton of freaking money in this business. Nowhere near Tina, but it's still for us like a ton of money. Be so thankful for everything, even when you're in the pits. Be so thankful for it. Find somebody that you can vibe with. So somebody who relates to you and understands kind of your situation. It's just an accountability partner. It's a great thing to have. When I did this business, you guys, I didn't really have anybody to kind of lean on. And so I didn't have much of an accountability partner. And I thought, okay, I don't need an accountability partner to be successful. I felt, like a big wimp if I felt like I needed somebody to really like push and shove with me, like to go back and forth with. I didn't need that person when I was going diamond and was super successful and enrolling all these tons of people. So like, I kind of felt like a wimp for like needing one. Like, no, you don't need one. You've done it without one. But you guys, like, it is a great thing to have. Like Tina said, if you can just tell something's off with somebody, reach out and ask them and be like, hey, what's going on? Let's talk about it. Or, what would you like me to do? And so accountability partner it really is such a great thing to have. And you just, you keep each other on your game, because there are things that we struggle with. And like my strengths could be her weaknesses and her strengths could be my weaknesses. And so I'm not saying find a group of 10 people. I'm saying start with 1 or 2 people, it's kind of best to have somebody as a sideline so you're not directly affecting each other's businesses, because I've seen that go wrong before. But, sometimes it still works out. If everybody's mature and things are good, then it works out. I want to do another exercise. So on a piece of paper, kind of draw a line down the middle of your paper, just like a straight line. And it doesn't have to be down the middle, but just find a section where you can draw a line, because you're going to write on the left and you're going to write on the right. On the left, and we don't have to finish this right this second because I don't want this to be like super long, but on the left, you're going to write down like your issues, what you're having trouble with doing. Are you having trouble with staying disciplined? Are you having trouble with posting? Are you having trouble, getting your tasks done for the day? Are you struggling with, feeling the worthiness of like being successful in this business? Like, oh, I'm not working my business because I just don't feel like I'm worthy enough, or I'm good enough, or that I deserve it. Like whatever it is that you feel like is holding you back in your business that you are struggling with, you're going to write it down on the left. And then on the right, you're going to write down solutions. So if your issue is finding time to post or what to post, some of your solutions are make yourself sit down for an hour on a Sunday and use Instagram drafts and plan a week's worth of posts. So you don't even have to think about posting. Okay, you can write down solutions to like what your issues are, and then finding your solutions. So in this business, you have to learn to be a problem solver. You can ask for help. You should stand closer to the fire. Okay. That is a thing. I have withdrawn from chats and trainings and calls and pages before in those funks. And I always tell people, stay close to the fire. Every time I hear a call, you guys, I'm like, why haven't I been getting on calls? I don't care if you feel like you've learned everything, or that if it's a training on how to post, you can still learn like one thing that could change your business. I always walk away with one thing, at least bare minimum, that I've learned from somebody else's training, even if I think I already know how to do it, like great. So get on, stay close to the fire. You are not alone in this business. We are all struggling. We are all trying to make it. We all have life going on. A lot of us probably relate more to each other than we realize, just because we haven't really talked about things. But do that exercise where, you know, you're a problem solver. You're not going to complain about it. You're not going to cry about it. You're not going to self-loathe. You can have like 5 seconds, but really just write it down, because I know at some point you're going to get sick and tired of feeling the way that you're feeling. You're just going to be sick and tired of it. You're like, I don't like this. I'm so self-aware. I know this isn't right. I don't want to be here. This is my home. I need this business. Here are my issues. These are my dreams. Here are some of my solutions. And you start standing close to the fire. Also, do things that help you feel better. Take care of yourself. For me, lately, for whatever reason, like I never used to be a runner. So it's probably the last couple of years I have been. I have figured out that that is like directly tied to my mental health. If I am not exercising and working on my body, running in particular, because I can work through a lot of thoughts when I'm running. I can speak out my, you know, manifesting and my goals. I just talk to myself in my head, and, you know, I don't have a kid bugging me every 2 seconds, or yelling mom 50 times in a row just to tell me they love me. Like Sydney does that all the time. Like I have time to myself. I can run and I feel great. And so when this quarantine stuff hit, my kids are usually, I would run when they were both in school. I didn't have that time. Everybody's both home now. I can't run and just leave my kids at home and my husband's not here. And so it wasn't like my normal schedule. I wasn't running. So that was making things worse for me. So like just being self-aware of my body and knowing, okay, what makes me feel better is running or tanning or doing some yoga. Like for me, those are my things. And I had stopped doing those things. And that really just coincided with like, you know, the schedule change and my added responsibilities. And it was just like really bad. So you get to a point where you start to figure things out. And so I'm trying to help you guys along there. I was turning into an alcoholic, and I'm not exaggerating. Everybody on the street was drinking at 4 o'clock. We'd come outside and just drink together because everybody had been a teacher all day. Everybody's got kids here, and we were just exhausted. I do also want to say that no amount of thinking about it will get you out of it. You can sit down, guys. The reason I can talk about these things is because I've gone through these things. This is the whole point of being a leader, okay? No amount of thinking about it and sitting there and be like, oh, I just want to wake up tomorrow and feel like super motivated. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Like, is it because of this and this and this? Well, is it this and this and this? And is it this and this and this? And I have like just gone back and forth and ping ponged with myself. And it's like, you never get anywhere. You never ever get anywhere. You really have to talk about it, find solutions, and then do the work. You got to do the solutions. You actually have to do the solutions. And I'm not saying do all 20 solutions. I'm saying start with one. Start with one. You're going to feel so good and accomplished when you get just like one of those things done. And this is also going to help with like making your 6 list when it comes to like figuring out the work that you need to do. I don't like to talk about bare minimum list because I don't want the focus to be on bare minimum tasks. But when you are trying to work back into a new routine, you have to set these new standards for yourself. I have a minimum set of standards for myself right now with this new schedule shift. I'm feeling it out and I'm adding more as I go. And that's going to happen once summer hits and we're not in school anymore, or like whatever, like my husband leaves for 6 months. He's got a training coming up where he's going to be gone for 6 months, and it's going to be coinciding with when they're starting school again and they starting up on sports and stuff. Like I'm not even trying to think about it right now, but keep these lists and rearrange them if you have to, rework it. But when I was in this slump, I wasn't even looking at my list anymore. The list that I did have was when I was like on a roll, and I really just needed to go back and simplify it a little bit more. Like, I know I can get these things done. I know I can add 100 people when I'm peeing on the toilet twice a day. That you can't add more than 200 people on Instagram. It's an Instagram rule. I know I pee at least twice a day. If I'm drinking enough water, I'm peeing at least twice a day. So I can I can grow my market. I know I can get at least one post up. I know I can document my day through my stories. And, we have a stories thread, which I need to like share in the page again now that we have a bunch of new people, but it's like any product, like story threads or stories you've seen and business ones. Like, we just have a montage of different stories that people have found and used, and they put it in that chat. And so like, if I ever need like a quick coffee, like story that I don't want to make one and I don't want to go look for one, I just go in there, I grab it and I post it. Like, that's the whole purpose of it. So there are ways to simplify this business, really kind of just like learn how to work your way into doing more. Because at the end of the day, you guys, our enrollments come from our conversations. Our enrollments don't come from posts. Just because you might not be posting, that doesn't mean I'm not working. Maybe I haven't posted for a week, and that's not the norm for me. It's normally once a day, but that doesn't mean I wasn't still having conversations with people. That doesn't mean I wasn't working in person. Okay. There are so many different ways to work this business. Posting is super important, but it's not everything. And at the end of the day, though, I'm not going to make money from a post. I'm going to make money from talking to people and starting new conversations and sealing the deal and like signing them. So don't make it about this like minimum 6 list of like tasks that you have to do. You really should be trying to get your tasks done, but then try to have as many conversations throughout the day. So just like keep that in mind. I don't want people focusing on like a minimum list, but like, I also know what it's like to overwhelm yourself. That's kind of just how I felt the last couple of weeks. I was just overwhelmed and I shut down, and that's normal and it's okay. But I also know that this is my home. I'm not going anywhere, and I know how to make it out, and I know who to go to. And I knew to like ask questions and ask for help or receive help, even because I'm a very stubborn person. Yeah.
Well, can you talk about how you wouldn't answer Jade?
Yeah, I didn't even answer Jade's messages, and her and I were talking multiple times every day, and she, oh my gosh, you guys, and part of it was I had my phone in my hand for the last 2 weeks for no more than 5 minutes every day. I was constantly doing something, and I would pass out at like 7, 8 o'clock. I had no energy, and I was overwhelmed and exhausted with all these extra cleanings that we're doing. Everybody's kids are home now and wanting to come inside, and we're like trying not to let anybody in the house right now. It's all excuses when I'm just sitting here listing it. But for me, it was just too much to handle. I wasn't talking to anybody that I needed to talk. I needed the time, and that's okay. That is okay. It's going to happen. But yeah, I didn't even answer Jade. And Tina, I didn't answer Tina. And then Tina messaged me the next day, and she was like, Caitlin, I'm like, okay, I just got to rip the Band-Aid. And just because my messages were building. Messages for people that I needed to talk to, it was just building. So every day it was just like more and more anxiety. And so you just start with one, you get it done, and then you open the next one, you open the next one. So for me, it was just like, I don't like being in that place, and I don't know how I got there. I don't know when things got complicated, because they're not. Like, this business is so super simple, but it got complicated for me. This isn't the first time, and it's probably not going to be the last time, because I'm in this for life. So I know that, my success line isn't going to go like this from here on out. It just happens. A lot of things that help me too, you guys have to have faith that there is something to grow from your current situation. There is always something to learn. So when I'm saying, ask for clarity and be open to receiving any kind of information, know that regardless of what you're going through or what you have gone through, that there was something to learn and grow from that. And knowing that at any point in your business, no matter how deep down you are, you can change your path. At any point, you are not doomed. It's going to be a little bit harder. The farther you go down, the more you got to climb up, but you can climb up. And you get to decide, like I said, take responsibility for the success in your business. Okay. Doesn't matter what's happened, what you have or haven't done, how long you've been in, how long that you've started and haven't really done anything, or how you've done something and then you like fell off. It doesn't matter what has happened. You can change your path at any point. A lot of this too came from comparisons, self-comparisons, and other people, like how other people were leading and what they were doing and what they were accomplishing, and then comparing myself to my old successful self when I went diamond in 5 months and when I enrolled X amount of people. It's like I kind of felt like I couldn't be that successful again because my life didn't look like that. I'm passing out by 9 o'clock when I used to work from 9 to 3. How can I be successful if that's how I worked before? How is it possible that I can work it in the nooks and crannies of my day and be even more successful? The truth is, you guys, you don't have to be on your phone from 9 to 3. I don't have to spend hours and hours on my phone. Each and every day, we're getting more resourceful. We're getting more like simplified with things. There are just so many different things that we can do now to make our business, to make it easier for us. We just have to find that shift in like what works for us individually. So I had this like self-comparison with myself, and then I compared myself to other people. And the truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't. I'm giving you permission right now to let that go. You do not owe anybody an explanation, regardless of what's going on with you, or an apology. You don't, okay? Because we make that daily decision to do or to not do things. We're taking responsibility for our business. Nobody will be able to step foot in your shoes. Everybody's stories are different. Situations are different. Mental health is different. Everything is 100% completely different, our journeys and our success. So you don't owe an apology. You don't owe an explanation. You are not your circumstances. Claim that. Just say it. I am not my circumstances. I don't see anybody's mouths moving. I am not my circumstances. Okay? If there are kids around, plug their ears. Say, I'm a badass bitch. I literally wrote that down. I am a badass bitch. I was when I started and I still am now. It doesn't matter what has happened. I know what to do and how to do it, and I'm amazing at it, and you are too. Something that I heard today we had a Diamond and Above Zoom. There it is, Tiff, with Cami Pentecost. And it was so good because this really just explains how I was successful the way I was when I went diamond in the 5 months. It's not about being good. You do not have to be good at this business at all. It's just whoever's the most consistent. You guys, I posted 12 times a day. I added 100 people on Facebook. I sent out 100 messages. It was seriously, it makes me want to vomit reading the message I was sending, but I signed people and I went diamond in 5 months. It was insane. I hit my Ruby promotion bonus, my husband's Ruby promotion bonus, my sister's Ruby promotion bonus. Yes, I had like 3 accounts. My husband's Emerald bonus, my Emerald bonus, and my Diamond bonus in a 5-month period. All those bonus, I hit everything. It wasn't because I was good at this business, you guys. I was garbage. I was just consistent. And I have grown. The more you do it, the more you learn and the more you mold yourself. And they also said to just take what we already have to offer. There are people who are doing opportunity calls, use what is available to you right now. Don't make it extra hard, but also take those things and build upon it and make things your own. So there are certain things that I don't like to do because I know that isn't me, or certain things that I don't say, certain things that I can't really get passionate about. You can learn to twist things or add your own flair to them. So just keep that in mind. That was something else I learned from it today. It was really good just to kind of reiterate. I don't want to create robot copies of myself. We are all individually different. And I know that when I was learning how to be a leader, I became a mold of 10 different people. I liked how Tina did this, and I liked how Ashley did that, and I liked how Jade did this, and I liked how, you know, Ashley Sinclair did this, or Jocelyn Yates did this. Like, I literally like watched so many people and picked apart like what I liked about how they did different things and just molded into myself. And so I also saw that like Jade was doing training videos and Jade was super successful. So I was going to start making training videos because I wanted to be super successful. So I just kind of copied the right cats, picked what I liked about what they were doing, got passionate about it, and was just consistent with it. And that's really kind of the key to success, is just being consistent with it. It doesn't matter if you're slow consistent, or if you're like, you're doing all the things like ×5, which is like ×5 more than what I'm doing. As long as you can stay with it, you're going to be successful. You're probably going to be successful faster than me, but it's not about comparing anybody's stuff. It is your own journey.
Bring this in. If you haven't been consistent and you've been with the business for a long time and you have not been consistent and your paychecks have dropped and you feel lost, it does not mean you can't jump back in and be consistent like you used to be. Like when you like, hello, I'm talking about myself. But, you know, I fell off for a long time and I still am just like, you know, because I switched over and then I did events. And now I'm like, well, shit. Now we can't go anywhere, let alone 7 frigging events that were canceled. So now I'm like, oh boy. Now, but then I'm thinking to myself, like, I did this whole thing on social media. I know what I'm doing. I have to be consistent again, because when you're consistent is when you're signing customers and distributors and they're learning from you being consistent. So if my downline is looking at my Facebook right now, I apologize. You know, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to jump back in and be consistent again, because the more consistent that you are, it does not matter how your life has been for the last 5 years of your business, how consistent you are today, right now, is where you want to be.
Yep. And like Tina said, when she fell off for a long time and she wasn't like working social media like that much at all, that did not stop me. I did not stop working my business because Tina wasn't working her business. Like, Tina doesn't pay my bills. And so when I say your business is solely your responsibility, it really is. Now, it is nice when you can vibe with your people. It is. We're vibing right now. But it doesn't mean that you still can't get there. Like, you have everything within you. Guys, is there anything, okay, so, you know, write down what rank that you want. Everybody should write ambassador down, honestly. Ambassador. You know, how much money do you want to make? $30K a month. Why? Because these are the things that I want to do, right? Is there anything anywhere that says that you cannot have that? Is there anywhere that says, Corey Beth, you cannot be an ambassador diamond? Jackie, you cannot be an ambassador diamond. Tiffany, you cannot be an ambassador diamond. Is there anywhere written anywhere, any kind of like law or, you know, commandment somewhere that says you are not allowed to reach ambassador? There is nothing that says you cannot do it. But if you don't believe in it, you will not achieve it. So belief was like a huge thing too that I didn't write in my notes. But, you know, you really have to truly just picture yourself up on that stage and believe in it, shout it out loud. You know how like when we're learning something and we have to teach it to somebody else and we hear ourselves talking about it out loud, and like it helps us like learn more and like remember it better. I know that's how I am. Like my husband too, he like tells me about all his flight stuff all the time and I have no idea what he's talking about, but he's trying to teach me. And just simply hearing himself speak it out loud, like I'm pretty sure there are studies about this, like hearing yourself say these things out loud really reprograms it into your brain. And so have you ever out loud before said, my name is Caitlin Hoffman and I'm an ambassador diamond leader with It Works? Have you ever said that out loud? Have you ever heard yourself say that? The answer is no. You start saying it out loud. I highly recommend you record yourself saying like your list of goals and dreams, and as if it is, you know, my name is Caitlin Hoffman. I'm an ambassador diamond, you know, with It Works. I make $30,000 a month. You know, these are the things that I am currently doing. Record that, and then every day listen to it, like meditate or something. Yeah, I all these things too, you guys, that you are going through, like I said, there is something to grow through from these situations. I like fully believe that I am not a triple diamond leader or presidential leader or ambassador diamond leader because I am not who I am yet. Like, I am not the leader that I am supposed to be yet to get to that point. When I promote, it will be because I was ready. I am good enough. I am, you know, I have grown and learned, and I am in the right place to level up. The fact that I haven't yet means I have a lot more growth to do. And so, like I said, there's always something to learn from these pits. And to be rebuilt, you have to be broken down. And that's just part of the process. And so I I don't even feel bad about it. I just know that everything is falling into place. You're going to lose people and you're going to gain people, and you think that you lost these people and it's like this upsetting thing. But in reality, like, you needed to lose them so you can up level, like, and find like new people and people to up level with. And like, it's all part of the process. Like, don't second guess anything. Just be like, all right, this is what's happening. This is all part of the process. You know, what is it that I need to learn from this? And you just keep kicking with it and just have faith, and, you know, keep your dreams big and give yourself some grace. Reach out and ask for help. Keep it simple. Look at your list. You're badass bitches, okay? Like, we all are. There's nothing that says you can't be at the top. There's nothing that says you can't do it in 6 months. There's nothing that says you can't do that. It's all on you and your responsibility. You don't have to be good at this business. You just have to be good at being consistent. I don't care what your consistent looks like, because it's going to look different than everybody's. I remember hearing people that saying that they were sending 300 messages a day, and I'm like, hell in the hell. I cannot. I will not. Like, that's just 100's good for me. You know, that's just like what works for me. So don't feel like you can't hit these goals or dreams or ranks or money amounts because somebody else hasn't done it yet. Or, you know, for me, I've told my team like several times, I'm 4.5 years in and I'm not a triple diamond, but that doesn't mean that it has to take you 4.5, 5 years to get there. Do it in 2. Beat me out, please. Like, that would be fantastic. So don't compare yourselves to your old selves, to your future selves. Show up every day as your best self and do the things. Oh, what is he thinking? He makes me nervous. Go away, Brian.
No, it was the song, you know how you're like, well, sometimes you have to like lose someone to find it. So I like went on YouTube and like, lose you to find me.
Oh, Selena Gomez.
Like, you make everybody nervous.
But like, that really, like, I mean, it's just so true. Like, start looking at, and like what you tell yourself and how you talk to yourself is, you know, you're going to feel more of those feelings, and then it's going to spill into, go away, Brian. You know, if I'm talking bad about myself, like my self-confidence, that's going to spill into like my business, and it's going to affect my team, and it's going to affect how I feel about my relationship and how I am as a mom. And like, it really will spill over into everything. And so really start taking care of yourself and speaking nice things. And yeah, I think just, what is it? Not like an ego necessarily, just like, don't be stubborn headed, and everybody could use some help. Everybody could use a person or two. And it just happens. Do you have anything else to add, Tina?
I don't think so. I was just, you know, I kind of want to reiterate about you have to like lose someone to find yourself. Casey, why are you looking at me like that? So I was actually talking to Casey about this last week, and I'm like, sometimes you have to lose people in order to grow.
And make room for new people.
Yes, right. So even if they're not, I mean, they're not a part of your business, if there's somebody, judgmental in your life at all, sometimes you need to let it go. And you know what? That I'm not saying you need to lose them as a friend or a family member or anything. You need to lose their thoughts because they have nothing to do with your success. So another thing, if I thought about all the people, in my business who have been consistent every single day for those 6 years that I've been with the company, that's probably a huge reason why I haven't been consistent and why I stepped back, is because I was afraid of what other people would think. Like, even when Kate and I were talking about getting on this, I was so nervous because I'm like, oh my God, what are people going to think? They're going to go to my Facebook and know that I'm not posting. But it doesn't mean that I didn't drive up to Dickie's Barbecue, go through their drive-through and have my It Works logo on my arm and just get a loyal customer for 2 of the 2 for 49s because I opened my mouth. Like, I'm not even supposed to be going to drive-thrus right now, but guess what? I went. And it's just, you wear what we have for our business. And it literally, it's a black zip up and it has this tiny little logo. And hey, do you have a business card? I'm like, as a matter of fact, I looked like hell. I hadn't left my house in like 3 weeks. My hair was like crazy. I'm just like, I want a pulled pork sandwich. And so I went and I'm like, this doesn't mean that we're not signing people. Like, if you don't see it on Facebook, don't get me wrong, it does not look good. And it's not teaching any of you anything to, like, that's not a bad thing that we are, we could be enrolling, but it is a bad thing that we're not teaching you guys to get on there and be consistent. So what other people's opinions of myself, you know what, maybe no one has said anything. Maybe everyone is in their own lane and they're focused on their own business and they're running and they're, and it's just my personal feelings as to, wow, who's sitting here talking behind my back? Like, who does she think she is, getting on a Zoom training and trying to teach other people stuff when she's not even posting on Facebook or Instagram? Well, let me tell you, I went triple diamond with 0 help in 13 months. So I'll be damned if someone's going to tell me that I am not successful enough to get on a Zoom and tell you guys my ups and downs with this business, because I am still making more money than my husband does, who works full time for the government, because of what I did and because of the consistency. So of course I would be doing a hell of a lot better and I would be moving forward, but I got complacent and, I had to find myself again. And when I called Kate the other day, I'm like, I don't even care why you haven't posted. I've been there. I'm here. We need to stop. Like, this isn't teaching anybody anything. So that you just kind of like, you are aware that what you're doing is something that you don't enjoy. And people, people might be talking and you're afraid to hop back in, but it's like, if you are afraid to hop back in, then you're not going to. Yeah. You're not going to. If you are afraid, it's just like when you started this business. If you are afraid of what people are going to think, you're not going to be successful. So cut the shit, and who cares about what anyone else thinks? Because if we cared, and I messaged her today and I was like, oh, this is going to be hard because I feel like I'm not worthy enough to get on here and talk to my team because I haven't been there for so long. And then I'm like, fuck this. Like, I am worthy of this. I know what I'm doing. I'm a badass bitch.
Who gives a shit?
On here regardless. I'm like, and I'm going to get on regardless of if people are talking about me or not, because guess what? Now I'm back. And like, yeah, I may have said that before, but like, I'm telling you right now, I didn't get on a Zoom and I didn't say, I'm back, bitches. I'm a badass bitch. So sorry if your kids are around.
No, you're, something that like, I think bothered me too for a while is I feel like you guys, you're going to get, you're going to get judged. Like, people are going to have things to say and they're going to judge you for what you're doing right now. And it's not going to matter what you did years ago or the last like 4 years. They're going to look at what you're currently doing and base their opinions off of that. And so, like I said, I was a badass bitch. I am a badass bitch. I will get back to that place. And like, I am there. That is me. That is you. And so start showing up, because your actions do speak louder than words. And sometimes that's a tough pill to swallow. Like she said, there's been several times where she said, I'm back, and I've done the same thing. I've apologized to my team several times. And it's like every time I would like do it and like try to jump back in, something else would happen. I'm like, none of this was intentional. Like, it's just, I wasn't ready yet, I guess, you know, like I wanted to be done with the crap, and whatever it was that I was going through, it wasn't done with me. And so, you know, you just keep going, you know, knock down, you know, 3 times, stand up 4. That's me. I'm never going to lose because I'm never going to quit. And that's what I tell myself. That is a reminder in my phone. I will never lose because I will never quit. That's it. I don't care what happens, but I still can be successful in this business, regardless of what's happening, regardless of how down deep I am. Doesn't matter what's going on. Everybody could quit, and I will start from ground zero because I've been there and I've built up from that, and I can still be successful because I just won't quit. And that's why I know I'm going to go where I'm going to go. And you guys have to have that same mentality and that same confidence that you're going to get there. Does anybody have any questions? Everybody been healthy away from Corona?
Oh my God, it's freezing.
Sometimes the chat is a little delayed.
So I'm just gonna add this. I had a team page. I was a diamond leader, and I had a kick-ass team page.
Yep.
Everybody was super, super close. It was under 500 people. But then my team started promoting, like every leg would just do their own thing. So they all made their own team pages. And then I was like, oh my God, like where do I go from here? So I didn't have that like close, tight family anymore. Everyone had their own like emerging leaders. That's what you want to happen. But at the same time, you know, you kind of feel lost. Well, I went to Caitlin the other day and I said, I feel lost with my leadership. I don't know where to start. I know that she has distributors under her who are doing absolutely amazing, and you know they're ready to have their own team pages, and it's a weird spot when you get those people under you that are like building so strong, and they don't need you anymore. You feel like they don't need you. And Kate's always said this to me. She's like, I've always needed you. We need you still. And I still didn't feel that way.
And I like needed her in a different way too. Like that was the thing. Like I needed her in a different way, but it was still a shift for both of us.
Exactly. So I went to her the other day and I was like, I got to lead somewhere. Do you care if I start leading on your page and I start adding my other, you know, legs that don't have team pages to go to? Because I can't, like Jade's pages are way too big for me. Love Jade. She's one of my best friends. Very, very big team page, which overwhelms me. And that's perfectly fine. I need something small. I need my team to be close and to everyone to know each other. And, you know, and that's how I built my entire business. And then once everyone started branching off and doing their own thing, I'm like, whoa, like where do I go from here? And so I'm adding these newer distributors and, you know, their teams into this huge team page. And I just I didn't feel good enough to lead there. So I went to her the other day and I was like, listen, I need help. Like I need somewhere to go and lead my team. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to use your team page. And so I don't know. I was just like, this is where I need to start. And she said, do you want to get on a Zoom? I think we talked like, what was it, Sunday? Yes, it was Sunday. Yeah. And she said, do you want to do a Zoom with like our teams on Wednesday? And I said, yeah. She goes, okay, when do you want to get together to talk about what we're going to go through? And she blatantly said, tomorrow night, because if we don't want to get stuck in, and we don't want to just like flake off and not do it. Because we knew in our heads, we have to do this.
Yeah.
And if we wait any longer, it's going to be the hole that we've been in. It's going to be harder and harder to get out. So we were like, all right, so tomorrow night we need to get on, we need to talk about this. And then we had a plan. And I swear, just talking to each other and just knowing that there's a place and a home and a family, there's no way, if I get a message again, did Caitlin quit? It works. Like, do you think Caitlin quit? It works. Like, give her a break. Okay. And it's the same with me. Like, I'm here. This is my home. I'm never going anywhere. I don't care if I'm making $3. I know what this business
pay me $1 million. You could not, because I know I can make more with this business and what it's done for me personally, physically, mentally, financially, who Mark is as a person is enough to keep me here forever. Simply that. Simply
Yep.
because of who Mark is as a person.
And I was gonna say, and that's what I was gonna say. Like when he was here, he was in Nebraska last year. I forgot him. It was like a year and a half ago, and Jackie was there with me. And we had this Diamonds and Above like meet and greet thing, and I remember him being like, listen, you guys, every single one of you have been ups and downs and blah, blah, blah. Like you've all been through some crap. But what I love about it is you still have not left. This is your home. None of you have taken off when you've seen other people just, give up their business that, we didn't leave. And he said, all you need to do is reinvent yourself. So that's gone through my head so many times, but I've never done anything about it. Like I'm like, oh, I got to reinvent myself. I got to reinvent myself. But never have I ever gone to any one of my downlines, sidelines, or uplines and said, I want to lead on your team page. And that's how I knew something is changing. Like I love this company and I love leadership. And I love when people come to me and they're like, my chart is a hot mess. And, if I haven't even enrolled a distributor in 3 years, I'm still going to help them with their chart because I love what this company does for people. And so when he said reinvent yourself, it's stuck in my head since that day. He said it to my face. It's time to reinvent yourself. And I've never wanted to lead anywhere. And at this point, I'm like, I tried to open up my old team page. Well, that didn't work. And when I went to Kate, I was just like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like you and I are supposed to do this together. We both have kids, like young children. We're trying to teach them. And we both had 2 kids under 2 years old when we were starting this business. And, we've been through those ups and downs and we killed it at the beginning. And then we went through, some slumps, and that does not mean we're giving this business up. That means that we need each other to be, feeding ideas off each other and helping each other and getting a team page up and running and a successful business again. And that's why we wanted to jump on this as soon as possible so that you guys know, if you haven't seen us on social media, that does not mean nothing's happening in our business.
Yeah.
That means that we are obviously confused I'm trying to teach my kids. My office turned into a goddamn classroom. Look behind me, there's 3 backpacks. I'm like, okay. We moved and I had 2 hip surgeries. I had a total hip replacement 6 months ago. And I've just been, I had 3 C-sections. And so just so much crap has happened. And I'm like, it's all excuses because when Anna got sick, it didn't matter. I worked my ass off. So I know that it can happen again. And I know my kids are older. They walk and they talk and they yell at me and they're assholes and I'm tired. And that doesn't mean that I wasn't a different kind of tired when they were younger. I was exhausted, but I did it. Sorry, I could go on forever.
You're good. Like she said, everything changes and it's all normal. We're all human. Diamond and Above leaders are not invincible. We might be better at hiding certain things, but I guarantee you, something that I have learned over the last year with like really close friendships with like higher above leaders is that every day is a struggle for them. They're just really good at hiding it, really good at, still posting and leading, but like every day, behind the scenes is a struggle and it's normal. But I would rather struggle being on my phone with my kid in my lap, wondering what kind of post I'm going to do instead of like struggling, standing on my feet, like all freaking day, pulling a double, taking people's orders and like, or losing my, like you just choose your hard, man, choose your hard. I have to keep putting that into perspective for myself. And, I don't know. It just, it was just time for me to come out of it. I don't know. Like I said, I wanted to be done with it. Like I was very self-aware and just sick of it. And, you lose certain people and you gain other people and it's to make room and everything happens for a reason. You get rebuilt back up. Everything just clicks. Like I said, I want you guys to try asking for clarity tonight. I even ask about like with people on my chart, give me clarity, man. Like I really need help with who I need to run with and lead with and work with. And, before they simplified the charts to 3 legs, you needed 5 to go ambassador. You guys, I got 5 legs. So, I mean, I have people I can bounce back and forth on. And it changes every month sometimes. And I just started asking for clarity and just, being open to the changes. You just have to accept it. So, okay, we're going to jump off because it's been an hour. But thank you guys for being on and being receptive. And I will get the recording up. So Jackie asked the group, it's We Are Diamonds. If you aren't in it yet and you're not on my downline, message Tina and we will get you guys in there. It's just like she said, that's why I went diamond. I know Tina didn't know who I was until I went diamond, but her page was the only page I was in. I did not have access to Ashley. I did not have access to Jade. I didn't even know Jade was my upline. I had no idea. It was just a tight-knit group where we were just this big, huge family, and we leaned on each other and we helped each other. And it's like, if I enrolled somebody, I shared the conversation and other people would learn from it and they would do the same thing, and you didn't have to be anybody. And so just kind of having that tight-knit community is super helpful. Being in the big page is great because Jade does have amazing trainings. So you don't want to miss those. We will make sure to also share that information so that it isn't missed, because the page is so big that you can miss things. But we just have this tighter knit community as well. So I love you all so much. Stay safe and we will talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.